Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Conn'Cast Podcast. I am your host, Finn Tumber, as always. Today, I'm joined with a very special guest. All my guests are special, I have to say it. Connor Barkley-Rogers.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks.
Good,
You?
good. Yeah, thank you. No one's asked me that before.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm doing very
That
well.
was going to be my first question.
Yeah, wow. Everyone goes, yeah, I'm okay. Cameron, sorry. So Connor's joined me today, and we're just going to have a bit of a chat about, obviously, Connor. Both Connors actually will speak about my brother as well, because Connor's actually best friends with my brother. So it's going to be quite a touchy subject, but one I'm open to talking about. And yeah, it's just all about mental health and talking about Connor. So yeah, we'll get right into it. Also, guys, I just want to say trigger warning, because we will be talking about some things referencing suicide and quite tough, bad mental health. So should we talk about Connor first? Is that a good
I feel like that's probably the best place to start.
I think it is with you. So yeah, we'll just, about Connor. So how was your experiences with him?
I mean, he was Connor, wasn't he? Like, you can't describe him in any other way, but he was Connor, and that is as plain and simple as it can be, really.
I've always found, I've always been thinking the past 5 years. It's been 5 years.
I know,
which
it's
is
crazy.
Mental. I struggle to think about the words to describe him. You can't. He was just Connor, and I know it sounds really crap saying it, but he was a funny guy.
There was never a dull moment when Connor was about.
Yeah.
There was never boredom at the table. That was for sure. I mean, I'm sure you can cast your mind back to your mum going away to the boat. And then I'd basically live at your house for the weekend. I'd just rock up with my stuff, my PlayStation, and then that would be me, Friday till Sunday.
Could I add multiple times this was as well?
Yeah, that was once a month on average.
That was peak happiness for me, man. I never said this to you.
Happiness, yes.
I was so happy. Oh, man, it was so good. Bring the PlayStation downstairs, bit of FIFA or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was it. Us sorted for the weekend.
We lived off of Monster, Pepsi or Coke and oven pizzas.
All at the same time sometimes, actually.
Yeah. I dread to think how many oven pizzas we actually went through.
Was it Chicago House, was it?
Yeah. All the Tesco's own ones.
Oh, Tesco's banged. Honestly, don't diss Tesco's. It was unreal. So yeah, there's a lot of that. And yeah, it was a funny dynamic, us three.
Yeah. UFC nights as well.
Oh, the UFC. Yeah. Oh, with all the boys. Oh, it's
with everyone around, yeah.
Your
house was definitely if we all needed to go somewhere for the weekend.
That was the place. That was the crib. Everyone went to our house. You still live on the same road, don't you, actually?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you drive past it a lot, don't you? And
drive past it, walk past it, yeah.
Shop over the road. I mean, how does it feel when you go there still? Because I haven't been, so
it's a difficult one, really. Obviously, now time's gone on, it's not as hard to deal with. I kind of blank it out of my mind now.
Yeah.
But for the first couple of weeks, I did find myself not wanting to go past the house.
Yeah.
And everything like that, because obviously my mind was always like, I know what happened there.
Yeah.
And that's
that's
a hard thing to walk past the house knowing what happened there.
Yep, 100%.
Not only just for if it was anyone, but being someone that you're so close with, knowing what went on there, it's quite a difficult place to walk past.
Yeah.
But obviously, time goes on, life goes on.
Yeah.
And you kind of just got to grin and bear it, unfortunately.
Exactly.
It's just one of them things. You kind of just have to not put it to the back of your mind as such, because it's not something you'll ever remove from your brain. But that's my local shop. It was dead opposite. I can't avoid that shop. That's where I have to go to get whatever I want.
Bulls.
to get Red Bulls, Monsters, and vapes. That's all I go into that shop for.
The Holy Trinity, yeah. That's sort of
the Holy Trifecta.
Keeps you going.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, as I said, I know. I'd say for at least 2 years, I made a point out of never parking near your house or your old house. Yeah. Just because I didn't. Yeah. The thought process of parking there and then getting out of the car, and then the first thing I see is that house.
I totally understand that.
I don't know what it was, but it was something in my brain that was just that's not we're not doing that.
It's not right.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like to park outside the house where obviously, things happened.
Yeah.
In that sort of sense. Yeah. That's fair. I haven't, so it's quite similarly, I've parked up that road and I haven't parked in front of the house either. But similar things. And that's still been the case, 5 years ago. Yeah, it was quite a surreal sort of time, I thought, when that happened. Obviously, I think our whole lives, you say like, oh, it's obviously his brother, but it's quite clear that you were also family to him. And I feel like for all of us as Connor's brother and also like his friends, I think it was all quite like a surreal sort of time for us. Like life didn't really, did you get that? Life didn't really feel real?
No, life didn't feel real. I mean, I can still remember to this day exactly how I found out, when I found out. And I remember my brain just like freezing, basically. Like I just didn't, I couldn't comprehend what I'd heard.
You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, because I think I found out, obviously I don't know the exact time in minute.
No.
I want to say it was like 8:30 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
And I had left for work. I was at work at 6, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was a couple of hours into my shift, and my mum rang me and said, do you know what's going on outside Con's house? Yeah. And I was like, how would I know? Like, I'm at work. And she went, oh, there's like ambulances and police and everything. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what you want me to do or say. Like, I'm at work. Like, nothing I can do. No. And you just thought, oh, it might be something down the road, or like
you just go, like,
you know what Sheerness is like.
Every single day there's like an ambulance flying past. You're like, oh, it's probably maybe they just couldn't park up. Also, you know what Invicta Road's like parking.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but yeah, and then I can't remember who told me actually. I don't know if it was my mum or if it was someone else.
It's all a blur though, isn't it?
Yes, really? I mean 5 years ago as well. Like my memory's not good enough to remember a lot of stuff.
Dinner yesterday.
But yeah, I remember. I was in the smoking area at work at the time, and I got told, and I was kind of leaning up against the like bike shed thing that they used as the smoking area, and I just like got told, and I just slowly remember sinking into the floor, basically, like just slowly slid down backwards.
And you didn't even know you were doing it. You just your body just did it. Yeah,
my body just like lost control of itself as such, and I didn't know what to do, say, think,
or anything.
Or anything. Obviously, my first port of call was, at that point, was like, how is everyone dealing with this?
Yeah, you start to reach to everyone else, don't you? I mean, you reached out to me, obviously, all the other people as well.
Yeah, obviously, I found out, I think, fairly early as part of the friend group goes. I quickly, I remember running into my supervisor at the time, and I said, like, here's the situation. Like, I need to go. Like, I can't be here. Because I'm not functioning now. No. Like, this is not okay. Like, my brain's not here.
This is your best friend that took his life.
So I remember like basically doing the rounds through the friend group, making phone calls and stuff, and being like, I really don't want to be the person to tell you this, but I have to.
It's a horrible situation, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially telling people that were really close with them, and then, you know, you ring them up and they're like, oh, you're right, mate, how you doing? And you're like, I'm about to ruin your whole day, and I really feel bad for it, but you need to know.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I completely forgot, because then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, how you doing, man? What are you doing? And then you're like, I've got this like tragic,
it's like it's like 8:30 in the morning, and you're like, oh, how you doing, mate? Nice and early. What do you want from me at 8:30 in the morning? And you're like, I've got to tell you the worst news you can possibly think of.
Yeah. I think as well, so with that whole thing as well, I think as well, that brought us all very close together.
Yes.
Because I thought of Connor in our group as kind of like the gorilla glue. Like, he kind of brought all of us together from all different places. Like, I won't say those names and stuff, but friends from other places that you weren't as close with. And I've noticed, obviously, since Connor passed, as traumatic as it was, you guys have all cut closer, a lot of you.
Yes.
It's massive, and it's so nice
like,
to
even
see.
Down to the night that of Connor's passing.
Yeah.
We all agreed to go to Wetherspoons for a drink.
Yes,
And we had a couple of drinks in with spoons, and just basically as a support circle for each other, because no one wanted to be alone at that point. You didn't know where your head was at. You didn't know what to do, think, or say.
Yeah.
So we kind of just grabbed a booth in Spoons, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we kind of just sat there as a big group.
Yeah.
And spoke about, like, what the hell has just happened in our lives. It's just been straight up flipped upside down.
Just can't comprehend it at all.
Yeah.
It's just not. So with Connor and stuff, obviously the month's coming up and stuff. So like obviously it's such a traumatic event. What? Oh, I didn't mean to touch my mic. Just whacked out of the way. What kind of like coping mechanisms did you do as well? Like, because I don't know, the first day you're like, what the hell's happened? Months after that, I'm guessing friends were a big one for you.
Yes.
From the sounds of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think us trying to stay together as a group was like a huge thing that we needed to do.
Yeah, I get pins and needles. That sounds really stupid, but like, I remember how close you guys got, and like you.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like we've never been, nor probably will ever be, that close again.
Yeah.
We were most weeks, like 2 times a week at least, we were meeting up. Not as a whole group, obviously. There'd sometimes there'd be sometimes like 3 or 4 of us.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there'd be like a bigger group.
I never knew that.
And we'd just go and do stuff. Go for a drive like, as a group. Go and meet up. Go for a walk and stuff. I mean, I know you've come to a few of them, but we had countless, and I mean countless, bonfires up the beach.
The thing is, you were always inviting me as well, so it wasn't that at all. I'm just awful with my phone, as you know. I am awful at applying.
Worst person to text I've ever experienced.
I agree. I need to get better, man. But anyway, I know you invited me to all of these, but even so, looking back 5 years ago, I had no idea you guys did all of that. I knew there's a few beach fires and stuff, but that's amazing.
Yeah, like it was a pretty weird couple of months. Like we were just doing random stuff. Like there was always something going on, and it was there was never any meaning to it.
No,
but you don't that was the beauty of it.
Yeah,
is we was all being each other's support network.
Yeah,
there was no rhyme or reason behind anything we were doing.
No,
it was a simple matter of let's all be with each other, not sit indoors doing nothing and just being lost in your own brain. Because it's the worst place to be. Yeah,
it can be. And also, I feel like as well with men, where we don't talk about mental health as much, you know, I feel like other people can, but it's a thing with men where we can't. And although you said it's quite a bad place to be when you're in your head, when you meet up, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you felt it when I was at the beach. Just being there, you don't have to talk about your problems, but just being with your mates just kind of solves it in a way.
Yeah, there's something therapeutic about watching a fire as well. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to explain it.
On a beach.
Yes.
Pitch black.
Listening to the sound of the waves, staring at wood burning, and being around friends, and especially when people throw shells on the fire. That just adds a bit of spice to it, really.
Yeah.
But, yeah, being around the people you care about and having that support network there is something that you can't kind of put money on. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. It's hard to describe, but it's amazing that you can just sit there and go, and it kind of solves your issues. If I remember rightly, I don't remember anyone talking about their personal life, and there was never like, I'm struggling with this, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. We never did that. We just spoke about pointless stuff, and it was like brain rot stuff. It genuinely was, but it worked. It does. It worked. It's something about it, isn't it? Because you say like, should we be opening up? It's hard to. It's a hard one. It's a hard thing, and it's like as long as you can kind of deal with your mental health in the right sort of way that allows you to just release it. Sometimes I feel like releasing your emotions doesn't always have to be that you physically say it, but just connecting with people, sat around a fire can help. So. That's amazing. And you said about drives as well. You said you got go on drives, walks with your friends and stuff. Yeah. So like, I mean, if you think about it, it's quite a weird way. But I remember there was a few of us that would go walk around Pluckley Woods. We'd go. Oh, nice. Yeah. For some reason, we had a weird obsession at one point. I think it was mainly me, to be honest, because I was the driver, so I kind of dictated where we went. But there was this weird thing where we'd go and explore church graveyards and look at churches. Really? I don't know what it is, but there's something about a church that's just a really cool building to look at.
I agree. It's quite cool.
And the graveyards are quite an interesting place. Like obviously, it's a place of mourning and whatever else you have. But
yeah. It's
an interesting place to be because
100%.
There's a lot of history there. Like people have been there for hundreds of years, and a lot of them.
So I think we've kind of covered like obviously a lot about Con, our experiences and stuff. I think obviously for the people listening, I want to hopefully inspire them. I'm sure you've got a lot of things to talk about that's kind of helped your mental health. So yeah, rolling off the top, what kind of coping mechanisms did you have kind of?
So not just around Con's time but like
in general.
Yeah, in general. Yeah. I feel like a walk on your own with some music can do a world of good for your mind. Yes. Just put whatever you're into on some earphones and just go for a walk, especially if you live on like a coastal town. Like we're like lucky enough that we've got loads of coasts near us.
It's great.
Just go up the beach, put some headphones in, and just walk. There hasn't got to be a target.
I didn't know you did that.
There hasn't got to be a target.
No.
You've not got to aim for a certain distance or anything like that, or a certain place. But you just walk until you're happy enough and content enough that you're ready to walk back.
100%. I think we spoke about this as well on another episode with like when you do exercise, it releases those happy chemicals, don't it? Endorphins and stuff. Because like for me myself, I do something similar. I just sit on my bed and listen to music, which is still good enough in itself, but I feel like a walk's a really good idea, man.
Yeah, I think a walk in itself, even without the music, is good enough.
Yeah.
But music as a whole, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, like touching base on Con's, like the passing of Con that time. Obviously, these albums meant a lot to me. The Bring Me albums.
I was about to say Bring Me Horizon. I saw the umbrella. Yeah.
Obviously, I got this after Con passed because this was the last thing we did together, like properly, was the gig.
Oh my god.
So, those two albums at that specific time in my life were heavily, heavily important to me. Like, I dread to think the amount of hours I've listened to them.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, just listening to music, it hits different. Yeah, it does hit different.
100%. And wherever it is, I think driving to work, wherever, I love a drive. I love a driving music.
A nighttime drive.
Oh my. Drive and then like blaring, sing at the top of your lungs. Oh my, it hits different. It's different, and that is therapeutic in itself. Music's a big one. Anything else really on that front? Because,
I mean, at the minute.
Yeah.
It's gym. Obviously, you touched on base.
I was going to mention that because, like, was that sorry?
You touched on base with it with Cam, but the gym is like I've basically thrown myself in at the deep end, and it's so good for my mental health.
And the progress pictures, I'm not just saying it. I've seen them and they're amazing. Honestly, I'm so impressed with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really impressed because like I saw you starting. Was it early this year you started?
April.
So yeah, what was it that kind of thought, right, I need to go gym? Like, what was it?
So I split up with my ex around that time.
Yeah.
I'd obviously then gained more free time. I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I had noticed that I had got chubbier over the last few years. I mean, as everyone does in relationships, you naturally put on weight because you comfort eat a lot of it.
It's a hard truth.
Takeaways are a bad place to be in a relationship.
Got so many in shit as well.
Yeah.
It's just
Just Eat is a violent app. It should come with a trigger warning because it makes you fat. But yeah, 100%. I noticed that I was unhappy with myself. I would look in the mirror and I just didn't like it. Obviously, I had naturally been quite skinny after my operations from the age of 13 through till probably 2021. So large proportion of my adult life at that point, I'd been skinny. I'd always been floating around 8 to 10 stone weight.
Yeah.
And then I stepped on the scales one day and I saw I was 14 stone. And I thought, Jesus, this is a big jump for me. I feel really uncomfortable in myself.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
And then I won't mention his name, but obviously a couple of my friends at the time had just not long started the gym, or were him and his brother had been going for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he mentioned about going, and I thought, I tried the gym years ago and it never really worked for me.
Right.
But I thought, this time I'll give it a go. And I think the best thing in a way was I signed myself up to a year's contract with Snaps.
That's a great idea.
Because you're stuck then. What are you going to do? You're just going to waste the money, or are you going to go and use it?
Do it. Commit yourself. Yeah. Hold yourself accountable that way.
Yeah.
Great.
It's kind of forcing yourself to do it in a way. Whether that's a good way of looking at it or not, it's functional.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've definitely thrown myself in the deep end of the gym, but for if you're trying to lose weight and stuff, you step on them scales every couple of weeks and you see a couple of pounds or a couple of kgs come off.
It was great.
It's a really good boost for your self-esteem.
Yeah.
And at that point, what I'm doing currently is working. I'm gonna stick to it.
100%. So as you're going through it, you're kind of seeing these results and stuff, seeing it change. Has that helped your body image as well in that sense, would you say?
Helped and not helped at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Okay. In a way.
So I wouldn't say I suffer with body dysmorphia as such. I'm fairly comfortable in my own skin. Couple of drinks, my top will be off. Yeah. I don't care after a couple of beers, but I'm a lot more confident in my own skin now. Like I'm not saying I'm gonna be walking around the streets in a pair of shorts, but I feel more confident in myself. I think the big problem with the gym is you're always comparing yourself to the biggest person in there, which is never the right thing to do. But I think it's just a natural instinct. Like you're going to look at someone and think, Jesus, he's big.
He's like, whoa, he's wham, look at him.
Yeah. And then you go, why am I not like that? What am I doing wrong?
I feel like as soon as you start like going to the gym or doing something to work on your body, before you do that, you're kind of like, you're not thinking too much about your body and how much you weigh. But as soon as you start doing something about it, you're like really conscious of like the way you look, because you start comparing yourself and you go like, oh no, why am I not there yet? Because like I very similarly, like when I go to gym, I think of that as well. But it's interesting to see that it wasn't like, oh, you went gym, oh yeah, I'm really happy now. It's kind of like you're now potentially even more a bit anxious about it, would you say?
Not anxious isn't the right word, I'd say.
Okay.
If you touch on the body dysmorphia place, I'd say it's probably along them lines. But but it's a better place to be, because I want to improve myself. 100%. It's not oh, I hate myself, I hate the way I look. I'm happy with the way I look at the minute. But I want more. And
I can improve myself more. That's a great way to look at it. So instead of thinking to yourself, oh no, like I don't like the way I look at him, it's actually flipped in your sense, would you say? Yeah,
it's now I need to put in harder work.
Yeah, if I see him and look how ripped he is, I can do that as well. Of course he can as well. Like, you've been smashing it. I know I've already said it. Sorry, I need to stop. Here you go.
I'm going to start blushing.
Stop it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's as you said about progress photos as well. I think that's I was really unsure on it at first. My mate said, do it, you won't regret it.
Yeah.
Going back on it 100%. Now I'm the opposite. Now I take too many photos.
Can I put some up, by the way, on like the screen on the YouTube video? Do you mind?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah,
if you would change your mind, that's fine.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, but I thought it'd be quite cool to see, like, obviously see that you're making progress, and even if people don't see it, like, I think you are, and you're doing amazing, mate. So keep at it, man. Cheers. Honestly, it's great. It's so good. So
now I've got a question for you.
Question for me?
Yes.
I don't like this.
I know. Now the shoe's on the other foot. How do you like it?
Wow, right. Here we are. Host Connor Barkley-Rogers. No, please.
How's your mental health since your brother's passing? That's a big question.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, okay. I really appreciate you asking me that. So, yeah, we kind of touched a lot on it 5 years ago when it all happened. And I think I quite related a lot with what you said about how you couldn't quite believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll be quite open of like my experience when it all kind of happened as well, and I'll talk about mental health after.
Yeah.
to cut a long story short, I think as well, I feel a bit of guilt.
I think we all do. I think we all do.
Not only because of how it happened in the situation around it all, that the what ifs and the whatnots, that's another thing we'll talk about in a minute. But I think I feel a lot of guilt that I'm carrying on with my life. I'm also older than him now. I'm now 23 and he was 22. I feel a lot of guilt that I'm carrying on with my life and I'm doing things and I'm living life. And there's some days where I get so busy that I don't even have a chance to reflect on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel guilty because of that. And I know it doesn't sound right, but it's true. And
a lot of the things you've done, though, are in his memory. And
that is true. This whole Conn'Cast.
Yeah.
Is in the name.
I mean, but even down to little things like going to the Camp Nou. That was his thing. And you did it in his memory.
Messi scored 4 goals that day as well. He did it for Con.
Yes. Yes.
That's a big thing for me, guilt. And that's beforehand and also now.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that. I need to realise that a lot of things that I do is for Connor.
Like, if just quickly.
No, it's fine.
The charity tournaments.
Yeah.
That's all in his name.
It
and
is.
That's all what you and your family have done.
It is.
And it's something you should be like majorly happy with that you've achieved. And it's all in his name.
It's all his name.
And memory.
You were all there as well. You're all so supportive. And I'm not trying to push it all away, but it couldn't happen without everyone's support as well. You know, if I could make this idea, but if no one turns up and goes to these tournaments, it doesn't happen.
The easy bit is getting the people to turn up. The difficult bit is doing the legwork, the preparation, the organisation of everything.
There's a lot to it. Exactly that. So yeah, we do all these fundraising events, which is great. We do that all for Connor. But yeah, in general, my mental health, I think as well. So going back to more Connor, I think I was a lot. I've got brothers and sisters. They live away from me, obviously, and I love them both. I love both of them, my brother and sister. But obviously, I was living at home with Connor my whole life, so it was 2 of us, 18 years, me and him, all in the same room, in the same house. And I think since he passed, it was quite a sudden change. That all of a sudden, I was an only child, and that's comma, because obviously I'm not. But I was living on my own, and that was quite a big hit. So I was kind of like, all of a sudden, I didn't have that person. I could just walk into his room and just start opening up my mental health to him. I didn't have that person anymore.
Yeah, you didn't have the safety blanket.
The safety blanket of like the outlet. I think you can relate to that a lot. I think there's a lot of things that Connor was a very sort of giving person that he didn't talk enough about his mental health.
No.
But he took a lot on and gave a lot of advice.
You say advice, I'd say ridiculed life lessons. I can think of countless times where I'd come around yours, or me and Con would go out, and instead of giving constructive criticism, I'd just be told that I'm an idiot for what I'm doing.
Yeah, he would literally not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
He would not, like, he wasn't a people pleaser. It's like he would just tell you straight, Connor, you're being an absolute idiot. Like, what are you doing? Or for me, like, Finn, like, sort yourself out. Like, what is this about? He would just tell you straight. And I'm quite a people pleaser. I'm quite different to Connor in many, many ways. And he'd kind of just, it was like the yin and yang. He would kind of balance me out, and I'd talk to him about stuff, and it'd be like, psh, unity. So yeah, he would literally ridiculed life lessons is the best way to describe it, Connor. But yeah, he was very much an outlet for me, and losing that was quite hard because all of a sudden I've got some really close friends, obviously, and I do talk to them about stuff, but not having Connor's been quite tricky, I'd say, without getting too emotional. Yeah, I don't want to cry, but yeah, it's a tricky thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tricky thing.
Do you want to take a minute?
No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. No, Connor meant a lot to all of us.
Yeah,
and I love him. But I always say to myself, everyone that leaves your life, it's always been inside you.
Yeah, and they always leave something behind.
Yeah, they do. I'm quite a spiritual person, and I feel like no matter, although Connor isn't here anymore, the way I am and the way you are today, a part of him always will live within you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But I would also say to things like people I met through Connor, he's left me behind with much better relationships with people.
Yeah.
there's many a person that I would probably have never have associated myself with, because I would have had no initial contact with them.
I know the people you were probably thinking about as well, because you think like it was like Connor's friends. This is like I think Connor's friends. You've got loads of them. This is Connor in the middle. There's certain people here that you never spoke to, and then Connor's gone, and you're just like, woo, you know.
We got, like the friend group's kind of all merged in a way.
In a weird way, I was like, wow, I never would have expected you to talk to him.
And there was just people that I probably would have never have known if it wasn't for Connor, and they're now a huge part of my life. So he's left us with relationships with other people that we would have never have got.
100%. That's the beautiful thing. It's as much as this was like a really, really difficult thing. We wish we could have had Connor. We that's always the best option.
Yes.
I wish Connor never left. In a weird way, although this has happened, there's been a lot. There have been good things that have come from it. As much as I wish it didn't happen in the first place, having these friendships, you wish that Connor was always here and you could have formed these friendships already.
Yes. I think
it's a tricky one.
The saying of every cloud has a silver lining sounds very cliche, but it is to a degree that.
That's probably the best way I can describe this at the moment.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can
Connor's passing was a terrific rain cloud.
That's the best way I can imagine. I can describe that. You've done that spot on, I think. There's no other way, because you wish it never happened. But there have been things that have come from it. At least me and you right here, right now, can try and... This has happened, but hopefully we can be, while we're sat here, help other people. And that's why we do this. This is why we're running this Conn'Cast.
Yes.
This podcast. I got my words mixed up. To inspire other people that we've lost Connor. But it doesn't mean we can't save so many other. We can.
Yes.
And that's why we're here right now, to chat and open up about your feelings. Because I think Connor struggled to a lot, and that's why I think it's so important we should talk about it.
I think that's why you sit there and say about the guilt as well. But it's not, in the nicest way possible, it's not your fault. Yeah. And I know that sounds like, obviously, it's not your fault.
No. Yeah, I get that.
I know full well Connor was meant to go for a doctor's appointment the next morning.
Yep.
There was things in place. People were trying to help him. People were trying to work with him.
Yep.
I will admit right now that I was probably not supportive enough at the time.
Yeah.
I had other stuff going on in my own personal life, which had made me like distance myself from everyone.
Yeah.
And I really regret that.
Yeah.
But it's life, unfortunately.
It's life.
You can't predict the future.
I'm proud of you for I feel like you've played that over your head quite a lot.
Yeah.
And now you know that actually that is life, which is true.
Unfortunately, different circumstances, you know, I can say in my mind, different circumstances, I would have been there. He wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
Realistically, Con had in his mind what he was going to do, and I don't think anything anyone did would have changed the outcome.
Ever changed that.
I think you could play this story out 100 times and we get the same outcome 99. Yeah. Unfortunately, he was at a point where he couldn't go no further, and that was his decision, and you know that is something that we've all got to go with.
We have to live with.
But yeah, beating yourself up on something that was completely out of your control is really pointless, and it's super like, it's self-destruct basically.
Yeah, 100%. I think the best thing going forward that this has happened with Connor, and like you said, we couldn't have done anything. I feel like with people that have suicidal thoughts as well, I think for anyone out there that even might be listening, or just anyone in general, things can get better, and there is help and support, and we can do it. I think if you have that kind of friendship group, you have the people there that can support you, and you have the right things in place, there is light into the tunnel.
Yes.
There's always light into the tunnel. And this is why we talk about this. We can then try to inspire people to make changes in their life. So although, like I said, like we've lost Connor, we can save so many more people.
Yes.
We can, and I believe that. So
I think the saying of my messages are always open, it doesn't get through to people enough.
Yes.
But my thought process behind it is now, I would much rather you ring me at 3 o'clock in the morning and wake me up and talk to me about what is going on in your brain.
Yep.
Rather than me go to your funeral and see your mum crying.
Yeah.
Because that was something that I really struggled with.
Yeah.
Knowing that your life had just been torn apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, if you could play it out differently, we all would.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, as I was saying, like, my messages are always there. And if I see a message, I will respond to it, regardless of who it is, whether I like you or not. If somebody messages me going, have you got a minute? I'm really struggling. I'm going to respond.
Bang, straight away. Even me, believe it or not. If you gave me urgent, or give me a call, I will. I promise. I'll try.
Yeah. I mean,
Connor doesn't believe that, I can tell.
I think maybe we need to get, like, you know, one of them pagers from a hospital. Maybe one of them for you. We'll just bleep it when we need your attention.
Absolutely that. I think it's quite important as well to wrap up things as well. I think it's important to know that there are people there that care about you. People do love you. People love you. There's always people there to be there for you. As you just said, if you say, my message is always open, it sounds cliche when people say that, but they do mean it. People do love you. People do care for you. And there is support. That is really important to say. So
obviously there's not just the Conn'Cast, there's hundreds of charities out there for mental health.
There's so many.
I mean, I know the government, whether they are doing a great job of it or not, they are making steps in the right direction to help people with mental health. But just being there with other people and talking is a huge thing.
I think the things you've wrapped up with, like trying to improve mental health, music's a massive one. Gym/exercise is huge. It's so big.
I think just throwing yourself into a hobby. Yeah.
Whatever it is. I know with Cameron in the first episode was very much creative side of things.
Yes.
That was his hobby. That's his outlet.
I do not have the abilities for that. So I'll just go and throw metal plates around in the room.
I don't have facilities for that, big man. Yeah. I do not have the facilities.
I will go and throw metal plates around in a room full of sweaty men. Yeah. But that works.
That's your outlook. Go and do it, mate.
Exactly.
Honestly, 100%. So that is a really big point, actually. So, yeah, like I said, wrapping things up, that is really important stuff to do. Everything that Connor spoke about. I can't list it out. I can't remember. There's so many things. But that's what I mean. There's so many things you can do to improve your mental health. And just know that there is light into the tunnel, and please speak. Speak up. It's so important.
Never stay quiet.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
Exactly that. And if you're feeling inspired as well, please give us a message, because we would love you guys to come on the show and speak up about your mental health, because I hope for you, Connor, coming on here is let off a bit of steam. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the nerves at the beginning were rough, but
good, yeah.
Yes, I do feel
it's good.
Much more zen
than you are now. Exactly that. I think just talking about it will help us break the stigma as well. I think just getting really honest and open about mental health, I hope, has helped you guys and inspired you at home. So if you are inspired, please do come onto the show, because I really need it. And is there anything else you wanted to add, Connor, really?
No, I don't. I think we've kind of covered everything.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The whole, my messages are always open. I mean, I don't know if you want to, but you could put a link into my Instagram in the description. I don't care. I have a private account. It will come up as message requests, obviously. But if somebody wanted to message me and wanted to just have a private conversation about anything, I'm always okay with that. Sometimes talking to someone you don't know is easier, I think.
That's a great point.
So having no background of a person, having no idea that they know anything about you, sometimes it's just easier to talk to them, because they're not there to judge you then. They're there to just help.
They can't judge you because they don't know you.
Exactly.
Honestly, and he's not just saying that. He's not saying message is always open. Talk to him, honestly. Talk to Connor. Talk to me. I'll be the same. But yeah, definitely, I will absolutely 100% link that. And please do talk to Connor, because he's a great person and he's a very good person to talk to. We've had many a time. We've had a chat, and like we are now. So yeah, thank you to you, Connor. I appreciate it so much, you coming on and talking about this. It really means a lot to me, and it would have meant everything to Connor. So thank you so much. And thank you for watching or listening, guys. Again, like I said, if you're interested in coming on the show, message me. And have a great rest of your week or evening or day, whatever you're doing. So that, guys. Woo! So I'm so unprofessional.
Oh, come here,
man. I love you, man. I love you.